Hello, this is Anna, or Nurse Anna now, and I'm coming at you with a video talking about my NCLEX experience and also uh, when you pass 75 questions on a test. So I'm going to get to that after I talk to you about my experience and lead up to that. So, what you need to know first, before you even get to the NCLEX, you need to decide on a testing bank or however many you want to do. Some people do more than one. I say that you really only need one to focus on, but it's up to you to decide on a test bank to use that you're going to use to study. You need to do this before you get out of school. Our last semester it was mandatory, we had to buy UWorld, and UWorld is what's popping now. It's what everybody is using. I do like UWorld, and for the purposes of the NCLEX, I do feel like it was a really good decision. I tried Kaplan, I've done the Saunders books, but I feel like UWorld made me the most prepared. So, UWorld, I went ahead and used that. We had to get that, like I said, the last semester, and we went ahead and used that right up until we graduated, and then afterwards I still renewed it and used it some more. UWorld runs you about, I think it's, depending on how long it can be, anywhere from $2.99, $1.99, and I think it goes down from there depending on how long you want to use it for. We had to use it for 3 months, so I think that was $2.99 if I'm not mistaken. But either way, it was money well spent. It was a good idea. So get you a testing mate. Please do it before you graduate because you need to go ahead and get. It is not going to be helpful for you to decide to cram all this information in after you graduated. It'll be best for you to just already start practicing for the NCLEX so that when you get out of school, it will just run smoother and you can take it sooner than you would if you were delaying actually studying from a question bank. Hope that makes sense. So you've graduated now. You were out of nursing school. Great. For me, after I got out of nursing school, I went ahead and I was like, man, I'm about to burn all these textbooks. I am done. Of course, I didn't burn them, but I was like, you know what? I am never looking at another book again. Never. So I took the whole first week of after nursing school off. I was like, I'm not looking at a book. I'm not looking at a test bank. There shall be no studying. No studying shall pass. So we didn't do any studying, I didn't do any studying during that period of time. After that week passed, I came up with a test schedule, and my goal was, because I wanted to build back up, because after being in nursing school, you kind of have some kind of trauma. Like, it took me legit like a month and a half to get past the feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm missing something. I would wake up every morning and be like, I'm missing class or I'm missing something, and then I had to woosah and realize you were not missing clinical. There's no clinical. There's no class. Nothing is due. Nothing needs to be studied for except for this NCLEX. So anyway, I had to build up to that so I didn't, shock my system by just studying and studying and studying. Plus, I had to work at the same time. So I set a goal for the day. My goal for the day started out really low. It was like 10 questions a day, and that was my minimum. And I didn't have a maximum, so the minimum was 10 questions a day. If I decided to do more questions, like once I started building up to like 30 questions and stuff, I would not do any more in a setting than 10. So you can set how many questions you have on these testing banks even if you don't use UWorld. Other ones you can go for anywhere from just one question to 75 for this one. Some go up higher, but 1 to 75. And I never set it for more than 10 because I noticed that if I went higher than 10, I would get really bored, really distracted, and I wouldn't return to it. So doing 10 in one setting was like, okay, boom, bam, got it done. And in a few hours, I'll do 10 more. Make sure you have a test or a schedule, set some goals for yourself, and go ahead and stick to those goals. If you don't follow your plan exactly, that's fine, but as long as you have a plan in place, that way you don't find yourself not studying at all or slacking off, and then you take forever to take the NCLEX. The longer you take to take it, the less likely the chances get lower and lower because all of that nursing knowledge you learned from school is just diminishing and going away because Lord knows you were never going to look at those textbooks again. You might look at them briefly and then walk past them, but you were never looking in those again. So everything you learn from this point on is hands-on or from your test banks. So all of that knowledge it's just fading away, and it's just you need to just get a steady technique going and a plan in place and goals in place so that you can take it as soon as possible. When you register, the next thing you need to do after you got in your test bank, you need to go ahead and register. You can register for the tests, like with the testing company, which is Purview first. You can register for NCSBN first. You have to register for both, but because it's $350 altogether, you might want to do it one at a time. For me, I did Purview first because it's only $150. You just go to the Purview website, you fill out the information, and you go ahead and send off your money. The money is non-refundable, so you just gotta keep that in mind when you're registering for the test. You will not get any answer. It'll send you an email saying, "Oh, we've gotten your money," basically, and you're in the running to take this test. It won't give you a definite answer that you're taking this test for sure, because it's just saying that we got it. We're gonna review and decide if you can take this test. You're not getting this money back, but we're just gonna decide with your money. So then when you go to NCSBN website, it's the same thing. You're gonna go ahead and register. That's registering for your state. So you also need to make sure you tell your school if you're taking your test in a different state, because they have to send off your paperwork to the state, and every state has different rules for what you need to do. For example, I think for Maryland they have to write a letter, and there's a whole lot of things that they have to do step by step, whereas in Virginia they're just like, okay, just send the information in and we're gonna sort through it. So every state has different rules, which is why you need to tell your school what state you're planning to test in, so that they can make sure they adhere to those rules and it doesn't delay you taking the test. So you're going to register for your state there. It's $200 to go ahead and register for that. Again, non-refundable. They're going to send you a message saying, this is just so we can see if you even qualify, that you're eligible. It's not even guaranteed that you're going to be able to test, but as long as your school followed all the requirements that you need, and you were on top of that, making sure this was a good school that followed those requirements, and you don't have any criminal things that can sneak up and get you, you should be fine. It takes up to 30 days, or it can take up to 30 days for them to do it. For me, it was shorter than 30 days, but it wasn't like the next day, oh yeah, you can definitely take this test now. It was more like a couple of weeks, but it can take up to 30 days. They're going to give you a checklist. In the checklist, they do a background check on you, and they do fingerprinting. You have to go to a different location somewhere. Normally they have a list of locations you can go to. You set an appointment, you put your hand on a scanner, it scans your hand, and that's just so they can have something to compare it to when you take the test, so they can make sure no one took it for you. So you do that, they check everything else off and make sure you're good. So then they'll send you an email, and Purview will be like, hey, your state said you can take the test, we got your money, we'll go ahead and let you take the test. You schedule a date. Like I said before, you don't want to wait and psych yourself out for too long, because I've heard of people who waited a year and longer to take the test, and then they did not do well, and it was unfortunate, but it's because the longer you take, the less likely the chances just keep going down. Also, likewise, you do not want to take it too soon, because especially if you have not been studying, this is not one of those tests you're going to walk in and be like, I'm so smart, I'm just going to breeze through this, because I just, I've been nursing as an LPN for 65 years, and of course, not 65 years, but, I've been doing this for a long time, I don't need to study. Please don't do that to yourself. Just don't play yourself, okay? You're just going to set yourself up to be disappointed. You need to make sure you've been studying and got it together, okay? Just saying. So set it in a reasonable amount of time. Set your date. I set mine for December 28th because I was like, I'm giving myself a Christmas gift and a New Year's present. I am going to pass this test. So fast forward, you get to the testing center. As soon as you walk in, they will let you know that everything is audio and video recorded. They can pick up your cell phone signal, so you have to turn your phone off. They'll give you a bag to put your phone in, and they will seal it off. If you break the seal, then they'll know that they're going to assume you've been cheating. So just don't break the seal, close it off, and you're going to put everything you have in a locker. For me, I sat there and I brought all this food and all these snacks. I'm thinking I might be here for the whole 6 hours, so let me bring these snacks. And the guy at the testing center was like, why, you got all your groceries here? Like, what's going on? You packing to leave? What? And I was like, well, I just would rather not be hungry if I'm here for the whole 6 hours. So I didn't need all the food. I just brought it just in case. But it turned out I didn't need it all. So then after that, they're going to bring you up. You're going to take a picture, and they're going to do your handprint again so they can compare it up there. You're going to pat yourself down. If you pull something out of your pockets, like I had tissue, you have to do the pocket check all over again. And they're just going to make sure they check your ankles, your ears, to make sure you're not trying to use a device to cheat. You're going to go into a second room, and they're going to do that all over again so you can pat yourself down again. And then you're going to go into the testing room. What I found interesting was it's not just people taking the NCLEX. There are people taking other healthcare standardized tests, and that was very interesting to me. I really thought it was going to be all we RNs, LPNs in there, but it wasn't. It was just interesting to me. So You're going to go in there. It's a quiet room, similar to the silent room in a library, except for they have these computers and they have, the walls up so you can't look at other people's tests. You're going to go, they're going to put in their password, take the test. You can have breaks every 2 hours, but you can take your own breaks outside of the 2-hour break. If you do that, you just have to keep in mind the test is not going to stop for you. It'll still be running down the time. So keep that in mind. When I got to the test, I will say, because you can't say in detail the questions, but what I will tell you is that there were a lot of select all that apply. And also what I'm going to tell you is that the questions are not like any questions you've ever seen. You can study every test bank if you want, but it's not going to be, the questions were not anything. When people said that, I was like, well, at least they'll be similar. No, they were not. They were not similar, but what was the saving grace was that I did the rationale for the UWorld questions. What is going to save you is making sure you write down, read, record yourself saying. Some people are audio learners, so record yourself saying the rationale, play it back to yourself. If you're a visual learner, find videos on the subject that you're looking at, listen to those videos, whatever you need to do. For me, I wrote down my rationale, and then I would also write videos. Watch videos. I would also watch videos on the subject. What I did also was, some people will say only write the rationale for the things you got wrong. I also wrote down the rationale for things that I got right, but I didn't know why I got them right, because sometimes I would have a feeling like this is the right answer, and then I get to the rationale and I'd be like, but I didn't know why it was the right answer, or because UWorld's rationale is really long, so they even include other details and other things you need to look for, especially in the select all that apply. With step ones, you really need to pay attention to those too, because there were ones where it was like, put this in order, and it's like, if you didn't read the rationale and you don't know why it goes in order or how to order it, you're going to have problems on the NCLEX. So make sure that you just write down that rationale, focus on the select all that apply. You do need to focus on everything, because everything wasn't select all that apply, but you need to just keep that in mind. Rationales are important. That is what was my saving grace. Some of the questions were so close, like the answers, when they said the answers are really close, like I was like, this really could be a 2-answer question, but there's only one I can pick. So you just break it down based off of why is this one wrong, why is this one right, what is closer to the most right for this situation. There were also, when we did Hearst, there were things when they're like, oh, if you've never heard of it, no one else has either. There were literally questions on there where I was like, I have never heard of this procedure, but okay. It sounds like this, breaking down the word, the way the word is set up, okay, it sounds about right. This answer looks right, let's go for it. There were only a few that I was legit, like I know 100% without a shadow of a doubt I got right. But then there were other ones where I was like, I had to break it down. I was like, I'm pretty sure that this is the right answer. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be one of those success stories. I got to 75 and the machine just cut off, and I knew that I passed, and it was great. Got to 75 questions, got to 80 questions, got to 90 questions, and I was just sitting there like, Lord, I cannot retake this test. I cannot fail this test. I've been sitting here for 2 hours. There is no way. I was like, God, I'm gonna need to pass this test. And I was just, just getting down. So I took my break. The screen will shut off at 2 hours, and it'll just say, hey, do you want to take your break? It's been 2 hours. You can say yes or no. I said yes, went, ate some of my food, woosawed, and I was like, because I was starting to psych myself out, because in your mind, you're thinking you're going to be that 75 question person, because that's what you hear about all the time. When people do UWorld, they're like, I passed in 35 minutes and 75 questions, and you're like, oh, great, that's going to be me. That was not my story. But I'm here to tell you that don't let yourself get discouraged. I did start psyching myself out, took a break, got my mind together, and I was like, no matter how many questions, I can go to the 200 and something questions, I'm going to pass this test. So I went ahead, kept going. The machine cut off at 113, and it just cuts off. It'll be like, okay, great, thank you. You've contributed, you finished your test, that's it. So then you're going to go to the next section, which is the 15 questions. These 15 questions are what they're testing out for the next cycle of NCLEX. And I will say I really liked those questions. I really wish that the test was like that for real already. Those questions were really good. When you take it, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I liked the questions. After that, I sped on out of there to get to my car, and I went to do the NCLEX trick. I had not looked up the NCLEX trick before I took the test, because I just wanted to take the test first. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the NCSBN website. You're going to register like you've never taken the NCLEX. When I first did it, I took it and I put, yes, I've taken the NCLEX because I was thinking I did just take it. But you're going to put in no, because otherwise the message won't be the same. So you're going to put in no, 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 I haven't taken it, I have never, all of that stuff. You're going to get to the payment screen. This is really important. You're putting all your credit card information in the correct way, except for the expiration date. If you put it in correctly and you failed, it will take $200 out of your account, and it is non-refundable. You're not getting that back. So you're going to be, out of the money and disappointed. So you just don't want to do that to yourself. So put it in, put your, everything else has to be correct. Otherwise you'll get an error message except for the expiration date. When you put it in, you're going to get a message that says, I would put it up to the screen, but it's going to be backwards. So let me go ahead and read it. It's going to say, our records indicate that you have recently scheduled this exam. Another registration cannot be made at this time. If you get that message, you know you are home free, you have passed, hallelujah, you are done, you are now a nurse. If you get a message that says error or declined, you know that you have not succeeded at it and you're going to have to take it again. Also, the website will also tell you, but I'm going to tell you now because we're here. If they send you it's like a candidate review. If they email you a candidate review, it will show basically it'll break down the test in sections, and it'll show how you did in this section, how you did in that section, what you did the best in, what you did the worst in. If you get something like that, you also have unfortunately not passed, because they only send that to people who haven't passed so they can prepare to study those sections to get better. After you do the trick and all of that, for me, my state, they take 6 weeks to send you the official confirmation. You can do the trick and know, but I'm just one of those people who I was like, I want the official, so I can be officially official and know for sure without a shadow of a doubt that I passed this test. It can take up to 6 weeks. Some states, they allow you to do a quick review where you can get it in 2 days, and that's only like $7.65 or $7.95. My state, of course, does not do that, so I had to wait on for it. It did not take 6 weeks, but this is what it looks like. They're gonna first it comes into a packaging. It comes in packaging like this, the big thing. And then here it will have this, and then under all of this stuff, of course, is my nursing number. But it just has your name and, this. And it also comes with a letter that you can't read because it's going to be backwards. But anyway, it comes with a letter that says, new licensees, we are pleased to send you a wall certificate of your license to practice in Virginia or whatever area you're in. So you're going to get that in the mail. When I got mine, I was like, oh, this is because the size of it and all that stuff, and I was expecting an email. I was like, oh, this is my diploma. I need my diploma, but I already know I graduated. I walked the stage. I already know I graduated, so I need to get this email. And then I had to take another look, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my license. I'd celebrated, and it just touched me because all these years I've been trying to work towards this, and finally accomplishing it was amazing. So, if you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about in the comments, something that I did not cover, please feel free to comment down below, rate, subscribe. I'm going to post a video every Monday. This video, of course, is going to go up on a day. Oh, actually, this is going to go up on Monday. I was going to post it sooner, but every Monday I'm going to post a video. Please go ahead and include in the comments what you'd like me to talk about next. And I believe my next video, though, is going to be about job hunting. So stay tuned for that. Have a great day, night, or whenever you're watching this, and bye.